Good morning, passengers. This is flight PUB 69, prepared for takeoff in a moment. We are expecting some turbulence today, so please ensure your seatbelts are fastened at all times. Please enjoy this flight. We will provide some in-flight entertainment and refreshments if the turbulence allows.
Perfect. Spectacular. Yes. Thank you for that wonderful introduction, because I think our listeners need to be prepared. They definitely need to buckle their seatbelts for this.
I was not prepared for the spice level of the book we are discussing today. Um,
Me either. You know what's hilarious? So I was prepared because listeners, we are doing a special episode where we are discussing the uh, beautiful tome that is AIRPEEN by Holly Wilde. You heard that right. AIRPEEN.
What a
Yes.
cover.
Honestly, I love the cover. I
I love
really
the
love it.
cover. I didn't expect that the cover was prophetic of what was to come. I didn't
Yes.
expect that. More
Yeah.
when you did that, the airpin became your nose.
Oh gosh. No, I knew woo, 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 woo. I knew it was gonna be a banger because I've had this book just laying around, as one does. Because I know my at this point, my teenagers,
Yeah.
they get it, they don't care.
Teenagers know
But
more than us at all times. Like,
yeah, yes, they do. They know everything. But Armando, my partner, decided to pick this up, and
stop.
he thought, yeah, he turned it to probably like the best or worst, whatever you decide. But I mean, hell, every single page in this book is filthy. And he read it, and it takes a lot to scandalize Armando, but he was clutching his pearls. He was aghast.
Oh my gosh. I need that as a meme somehow. But honestly, at some point I just like dove fully into the fantasy of it, but I was clutching my pearls a few times too. Because I just wasn't expecting it, and you are very correct. From I almost text you as I was reading it, and I was like, nah, let's just chat about it in like an hour's time. From page two, I was like, oh lordy lord, here we go. Here we go.
Like she got on board, they took off, and then it was on. Like it was, well, I mean, it makes sense. This book is tiny. It's
Mhm.
like 20 pages.
Yeah.
So, so sh this
Just
author got right to the point. She was not playing. And
no.
so yeah, so Airpeen
Mhm.
by Holly Wilde is a sentient object short story. So, but when you think, okay, sentient object in a plane, you're like, what the heck could that be? Like, what would come to life
Mhm.
inside a plane?
Mhm.
Um, turns out quite a bit, quite a bit.
Yes.
Um,
Yes, you are correct. You are correct. So I don't know, do you want to start with like your first note?
oh well, here I'll read the content warnings.
Oh yes, good idea.
Which I always love the content warnings in these sort of books.
Yeah.
Um, yes. Okay. So, Airpeen is a short, erotic, sentient object story about a woman who gets serviced in the shies by her airplane seat, but I think that means skies. I think that means
I think
skies.
I put typo question mark, but it also made me happy to see because I was like, as two people that are looking at producing a indie small book, I was like, you know what? I saw it, I wasn't mad. I knew she meant skies. It was one typo in the whole book. You know what I mean?
I thought I had the same exact thought. I was like, perfect. We
Yeah.
are in good company. This is right up my alley. Okay. This book contains elements common in darker romances, such as bondage, orgasm denial, double and triple penetration, mind you, choking, and demeaning dirty talk toward the main female character. All sexual encounters are consensual, though.
Yes.
So, um, yeah. Chapter one, baby. The truth about turbulence.
The truth, indeed. Indeed. Now,
Indeed.
I don't have anything on page one. I don't know if you
Well,
do.
I do. Okay,
You
so
do.
yeah. So it's just one little underline because okay, so here's how the story starts. She's basically already taken off. She's in this plane and
Hmm.
they're already taken off. The pilot has said we're now at cruising altitude. The flight's 3 hours and 5 minutes. Okay.
I missed
Um,
that.
yeah, and he says, "Thank you for choosing Sentient Air." And I thought, "Oh, of course. This is the plane is called Sentient Air. Genius." That was my one line. I was like, "Perfect. Perfect name for this
Genre.
this company."
Yes.
Um, okay, so she is on a business trip. She just finished, so she's tired.
Mhm.
So she thought, you know what? I have done so good in this business trip. I'm going to upgrade to first class. And boy, did she upgrade.
She.
She's got lots of leg room.
Mm.
Fortunately, there's no one sitting next to her.
Yes.
But across the aisle there was, which that's an interesting thing we'll get to. Um,
And so we will.
she says the cushions were buttery soft. Even the windows felt bigger. Like she is living in her best first class dreams. The flight attendant brought rosé, which is a sentient exclusive. It's free. You got to get.
Free, which, that's rare these days. You got to be really. I'm not gonna lie, I had some flashbacks reading this book of being a flight attendant. And, that is very, very luxury to have free wine. Very luxury.
Yes, that and the flight attendant in this book had a good time as well.
Absolutely, she did. And she was the juiciest of wenches from what we know, you know? And we'll get
Yeah.
back to her very soon. I
Yeah,
feel like
we will.
straight away, she's super friendly. She gives like a wink.
Oh,
The
and a shimmy. She does a little shimmy.
Oh yeah, the shimmy was a giveaway. The shimmy
Yeah, we're
came up
like,
a
oh,
couple times.
she shimmied a lot for
And
this
I
short.
don't know what
Yeah.
your next part underlined is, but I have underlined this is back when I didn't know we were gonna just get straight into it. So I was like, "Oh, here we go." When she says this will help you sink into your seat a bit more, I hope you enjoy all the perks that come with flying in this part of the plane. So I was like, "Ooh, gotcha, gotcha." There's a little hint of what's to come. Not realizing that nay ye one paragraph down.
We get into it. That was one paragraph down. I have highlighted and written on page two.
I also have page two exclamation mark.
Like she didn't butter us up. Like she just
No,
meant page two, baby.
I do feel
Yeah.
impressed by that though, because it's a quickie and she knows it. You know,
Yes.
we
Yes.
still both have physical copies of this book. You know,
Yes.
that's like a triumph for an author. This
Hey,
cost
I'm gonna
much
tell
to
you.
produce. Her royalties on it would be like top tier.
I would think so. Yeah, I mean, she's going for it.
Yeah.
Okay, on page two, I let the wine flow down my throat while reading about the guys. Oh, okay, yes. So she's drinking and she put on an audiobook
Yeah.
and it's a sexy audiobook. So she's already there. Like she's already in the zone because her audiobook has made her imagine
Mm.
things. And I was aghast. I'm not gonna lie, because she on her own, she's sitting in the airplane and she like starts grinding. on the chair, just listening to the audiobook with the rosé in her belly. Like she just
She was meant to be
go,
on this flight, I think, you know?
yeah. She just like she, I keep um I keep I keep stuttering because I was flabbergasted because she's listening to the audiobook, right? So she's like feeling a certain sort of way.
Yeah.
And down the page it says, I open my eyes to make sure the coast is clear as I slip my fingers under my skirt. And
Mm,
I'm like, damn, like she's on a flight. She thinks this is a regular flight and she's
yeah.
doing this on her own, okay? And she looks and she says, all good on the aisle across from me. And I asked myself, what does that mean? Where is the person across from me? Why is it all good to do this?
I think what she meant was she realized there's no one there. That's how I
Mm.
took it, that she glanced across. She's having a little quiet diddle to herself, you know? Honestly, I was impressed. I think more people should, I think as women, it should be a right that they can have a quiet diddle, no one knows, you know? And she glances across just to make sure that as she gets lost in the throes of passion, that no one's watching, you know? At this point, she
Hey,
still thinks she's on a regular flight. I don't see anything untoward. No one would know. I mean, slipping her hands up her skirt in public was, you know,
it's a
she could get
choice.
caught. That was a choice, you
It
know?
was a choice. Yes. Yes, it was a choice. And I got stuck on that. But if Melanie thinks it's fine, listeners, I'll let you decide.
Listen, that part I would say was very risque, you know?
To me, that felt the most risque of all because
I agree.
she's still in regular reality where or maybe not. Maybe I don't know. But anyway.
It was
So
a few things that I think were very left up to our imagination. You know what I mean? Like we'll
yeah.
get, I think we'll probably both have the same thing in mind and we'll get there further, but I actually wasn't mad at that. It kind of reminded me like how powerful readers' imaginations are. Like there was a lot that was just left up to us to work out. And
It's
I
true.
wasn't mad. I wasn't
You
mad.
worked it out. You
You
worked it
worked
out.
it
You were good. Um, so she's having her moment,
out.
and in page 3, a voice behind her booms. Well, hi there, passenger princess. And now I don't know when you heard the voice in your head,
Mm.
I heard a southern voice because if you're calling someone a passenger princess, I don't know. How did
I
you hear it?
I'm impressed that you heard that straight away. I didn't hear it until a few pages later when said voice sh was described as having a drawl. And then I was like, ah, but you clocked it straight away with
That's
your,
all I heard was like Matthew McConaughey. I don't
oh,
know.
I see. I see. Did that do it for you?
I pictured a chair with his face. It's so stupid.
That feels kind of like a nightmare.
Yes, yes, it
He's
does.
all
It
right in
does.
a few movies, but like the McConaughey is not someone I particularly yearn for.
Well, I want you to picture him here, sitting behind her, his voice
So
booming.
you pictured
Well,
an
hi
actual
there.
face straight away.
Dude, I did not know what to picture. I'm not gonna lie, because I
Yeah.
wanted to ask you
Mm.
how, like I want
Yeah.
because okay, so she's sitting there, she's reading her book, she's had a rosé, and she's feeling very tingly. And then
Mm.
she hears right behind her,
Yeah.
"Hey there, passenger princess." And she automatically is just like, No big deal, like
Yeah.
the seat talking
I
to
was
me."
okay with that part, the no big deal, but it actually took me a second to realize it was the seat talking. I thought she'd been sprung. I thought someone was behind her watching her have a little ferocious diddle to herself.
Ah, okay. Okay. See, and I think because I came in it already knowing that there was some chair action
Yeah, yeah,
involved.
yeah.
So
You were
yeah, that would make
prepared.
total sense
But
that you would be like a human.
I will say the entire way through, that's why I was curious. Did you imagine them having faces? Because there's a lot of okay, so listeners, the chairs are the sentient object romance,
Yeah.
the chairs in the plane. Now, the she took it so far I wasn't expecting. I thought it was going to be a little bump and grind situation on the seat. But no, these chairs are different. They come to life. So I was so curious as well. How did you picture them? Because they're described essentially as like a mobile chair moving and whatever. But then they're also described as being able to do all the things a human partner could do to you, complete with, very, very interesting packages, which we'll touch on later.
Yes.
But they were
I,
both chairs and then they would have mouths. But that was never described. So in my
yes.
head, I just had this roiling mess of like tongue and leather and everything together.
Yes. Yes. Same. To me, I was picturing, Transformers. I
Okay.
like Transformers, like from the seat. He's like Octobots, a symbol. He's like, and he's like a chair.
With Matthew McConaughey's face. Which is funny because the boys in college, they used to call each other, because they're like obsessed with each other, like boys just talk about dicks, and they would be like, call each other Mega Dong and Coctimus Prime. So, it kind of fits right now.
That's what I was picturing.
You're picturing old Coctimus Prime coming out of the chair.
Yeah, I honestly had a really hard time, like really and grasping it, but that's where my head went, was
Yeah.
like
Okay, I'm
their
there.
chairs, because they were
Hmm.
like busting off of their bolts and moving, and one was like holding.
I feel like on page 3 or something, one of the chairs unbolts itself and starts plowing a guy in the aisle.
Yes,
I was
yes.
so unprepared. Those were the moments when I wasn't like ready. I was like, oh, it's just like, it's not just her story. Because I think mentally I was expecting a private moment with her. No, no, no. This whole plane.
Well, just first class. I don't know,
Just,
because she
yeah,
mentioned,
okay.
well, and I do want to touch on that later, because she mentions thinking like, oh, I'm being too loud. The people, the cabin in the back.
Mm,
And one of the chairs gets mad at her because she, got
correct.
tense.
Yeah.
And he went dark.
He did
He
go dark, and the
like
particular
grabbed her by the
chair,
throat.
yeah.
Yes.
The particular chair she was sitting on is quite dominant. He's very,
Yeah.
but she's into this, okay? So it's not like
Yes.
she's not. She's very into this. This is like her fantasy unfolding before her. So she has the chair she's sitting in, who's very gruff and like toughen up and take this chair part. And
His
then
name is
there's
Cushy. His name is
Cushy.
Cushy. Yeah, Cushy.
Good job. I couldn't remember. Um, yeah. Oh, she said, I'm right here. This chair is nothing like the brooding but sweet man in my story, the smut she was reading. My leading man would never make an announcement of my inexperience to a crowd of people before making a move on me. But then she's like, I try to ignore how it makes me feel. She's like, she's having these, like, all these feelings. But then there's a second chair that unbolts itself and, oh, it's the one beside them. The empty chair beside them
Yes.
is
Yeah.
also awakened. And this chair is very romantic.
Very romantic. He has a way with words.
He
Um,
has a way with words and pleather.
yeah.
I have on this page, oh, when she's like worried about turbulence and Cushy, he says, come a little closer and let Cushy tell you a secret, he whispers conspiratorially. As I lean back, he tightens the seatbelt around my lap and pulls me closer to him. We are the turbulence. I thought that
Ooh,
was hot for
Cushy.
for a
Yeah.
chair.
For
That's
a no, Cushy did it. He said the
Cushy did
thing.
it.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Oh
yeah, what have
man.
you got? What have you got next?
Let's see. Okay. So Cushy's doing some things to her automatically because
He
he's
is.
and I couldn't quite picture.
Mm.
Because in my head I'm thinking, okay, a chair from an airplane, so we have two armrests. So I'm thinking, okay, how is he? Because he's he's plucking at my boobies, like radio dials. And I'm thinking,
Mm.
okay, how is Cushy doing this? Like, where is his little fingers? What is that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But Cushy's doing it. He's making her feel very good. Oh, and Plush as well. Okay, Plush is there as he's doing
What
things too.
page are you on?
I'm on six. I'm on
Oh,
six.
6. Roger.
And so she's like feeling like, woo, wow, these chairs are doing it to me. And she says, even though I'm only in my panties, I'm still the most dressed in this cabin right now. So she finishes her last wine, like drink of wine, and she decides she's gonna get naked like the rest of the crowd. Okay, everybody in that cabin is going
Yes,
ham.
and I feel like maybe if we didn't already mention it, that th at some point we've learned here that this is exactly what this like special service is for, that each of these people has this special chair, and she's a sentient air virgin, we learn. She's never ridden before, but these people are seasoned. They're here. They
Yes.
know what their chairs can do for them. You know, I
Yes.
will say I was all like, that's an exact example of the scenes where I was like, what are we meant to picture here? Because she never gave us like his hands are like leathery or like plasticky, but then very whatever. Then she never gave us that. She kind of just like with the chair arms, like you said, I was also like, what do I picture? But I think I was picturing as well, like you said, like the Decepticons or whatever, like
Yeah.
something robotic twisting around. I don't know. Yeah. Smokey didn't
Our
like that.
brains. No, he didn't.
He's giving you bombastic side eye. Like
He is judging so hard right now.
so
He's just
hard.
jealous he can't read.
Yeah, exactly.
Um, Schnauzers. Okay, so they're, I mean,
Yeah, what
they're
comes next, Angela? Tell us what comes next.
oh, yeah, a lot.
A lot.
So again, they have mouths,
Mm,
okay, and they have tongues, and so they're doing things to her, and she covers her own mouth to keep herself from screaming as
mm.
my seats twist their tongues inside me like a pack of pretzels. And I thought, oh,
Okay,
um,
but you've missed the part I thought you were going to try to explain.
okay. Oh, please.
What I thought was quite shocking, and like I'm still trying to picture the physics of it, was that um the chairs at this point unbolted themselves and hauled her up the wall with her. She comments her womanhood is on display to all the world miles below, she says.
She was out, like she was exposed, and she
So
was okay with it.
yeah, she was mostly okay with it. It took her a second, but I was just also like trying to picture the physics of this. But yeah, I feel like this, we just have to accept that these chairs can do anything, you know?
Yes, and apparently so can she, and she can handle it all as well.
Yes, she was ready for all
She
of
was
this.
ready for the turbulence.
For that turbulence.
Um, yeah, so they're making her feel real good. And at one point she goes, "Brace yourself, boys."
Underlined as well. Did you also laugh out loud multiple times during this? Like,
Yes.
I laughed. It's one of the reasons I love these books. Like, I just there's nothing to make you laugh. Like two chairs tag teaming this girl.
Yeah, like you just have to enjoy the friggin' ride and just let your brain go and like live in it because
Also, sorry for saying tag teaming on the podcast. I'm not even sure it means what I think it means. I'm gonna have
I'm
to
sure.
Google that.
No, I'm to me it that's what they're doing over
Yeah,
here.
yeah,
Um,
literally.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I'm in chapter 3. I'm on page
Okay.
8. And yeah, it says you would think their mouths are tired. And I
Mm.
wrote on the top, where are their mouths?
Where indeed?
Matthew
Were you
McConaughey?
still, I was gonna say, were you still picturing, okay, so for you, were you picturing like the, it kind of shifted for me. I didn't have Matthew McConaughey in my fantasy, but I did kind of picture alternating between the back of a seat and then like a kind of leathery face that would come out of it or something. And like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yes. No, I had that thought as well. Like it's just like this just
Yeah.
like piercing through. Yeah.
Or was it just like a tongue coming out of the pleather?
I don't know if I could handle just a tongue sticking out
No.
of play.
But
You know what I
you know
mean?
what? I thought for sure. So I alternated between do they have human bodies or not? But then here they were like, the sound of Velcro ripping pulls my attention down between us. His seat cushion parts in the middle, the soft foam of the seat opening like a storage compartment. Should I keep reading?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, out of the spongy interior comes a miniature model of the airplane we're on. Only miniature just isn't the best word to describe the 11-inch form jutting out at me.
Keep
And
going. Keep going.
the moment I realized the model plane is his cock. Is the moment I realized there's nothing mini about this thing, she says.
No. Cushy Cushy is he's packing.
He's packing. This was
Yeah.
also a very strange image for me because at this point, she's really given us the mechanics of cutting a couch open and then like almost like some kind of science fair experiment, this plane rising out of it. Like I found it like what are we picturing in that moment? I wasn't sure. I'd love to see an artist interpretation of this moment.
I would love that. I know that they're silicone smooth,
That's
so
true.
that's and their bumpy exteriors
Yeah.
are from like the windows.
Oh, it's the windows. I was wondering what the bumpy exterior was. Because actually, that's maybe one technically incorrect part. Because if it was an actual plane replica, it should be very smooth. But you know.
I'm just picturing the cover right
Oh
here.
yeah, gotcha.
Yeah, and Cushy says, "Prepare for the ride of your life, babe."
You know, I felt Matthew embody you in that moment. I really felt it. I was starstruck for a moment. Your accent was so on point.
Oh yeah. All right, all right.
Okay, well, you have to read the next bit with that accent.
Oh Lord. Which part?
I don't know, where were you? What
I
did
don't know,
he
but
say
I
to her?
also I do want to highlight that she calls it his planehood. Not like a manhood, but his planehood. And I thought, genius. It's so good.
Oh, and
Uh,
there was definitely a few cockpit jokes in there, but I didn't underline it. Like,
yes. Oh yeah.
boom.
Yes, yes.
I
Oh,
also
okay.
found it funny. Maybe this is the trend at the moment. I found it funny that she referred to her parts as her slit. It might be the trend at the moment. Um, and she just
We have to learn these things, Melanie.
we
We're going to be
do.
writing these books, so we need to learn the lingo.
We absolutely do.
What are you? Oh, we have 10
We've
minutes left.
10 minutes. We better
So
make it a
they,
quickie like she did.
dude, so now we have the plain hoods. Multiple of those are out, and
They are.
she's like literally like her eyes are back in her head. She is like experiencing everything. Like she is okay. Oh, okay. I'm on page 12 here. I said
Oh,
plush
12.
gets nasty. Um, because this is where I wanted to touch on because she's she's losing her mind. She's so loud. She's
Mm.
just like, woo! And then she stops.
I just spat at you acting that out.
She's losing it. She's losing it. And then she tenses because she thinks, oh no, the people in business class, they're gonna hear. And so
Yeah.
she tenses, and I guess it's Plush that notices that, right? And
Mm.
and this fucker, hold on, let me see where it is.
He's mad at
Uh
her.
yes, I think he grabs her
Yeah, yeah.
and
He
he
chokes her.
basically he
Some
chokes.
people are really into choking, though. It's a whole
Yeah.
thing. But I only recently learned because I always found it a bit troubling. I was like, why would you want to like choke each other out? And then I was like trying to educate myself. I'm like, oh, they're not actually trying, from what I understand, they're not actually trying to suffocate each other. But there's like a nerve or something there that like when you push down on it, it like increases pleasure. Or maybe the suffocation is part of it for some people too. I'm sure it is. But apparently
Yeah.
there's an actual like artery or something that they push down on that makes
Oh,
sex very pleasurable
shoot.
for them, which I didn't know before. So there you go.
Well, he was doing it for
He
her because
was
she wasn't
doing
mad.
whatever it was, he was doing it. That might not be facts. Once again, Melanie is saying things as if she is a fucking dictionary. She's not. She's not. It's just
Yeah.
colloquial street knowledge, friends.
No, I mean, no, whatever happens, it's doing it for her. And then the oxygen masks come down, or
That's
just
correct.
hers. They tie her ass up
They tie her
and they're
ass
like,
up. And at that point, she freaks out about the oxygen masks. And she looks over to the flight attendant for moral support. Flight attendant
and
is also being plowed by her chair, but
yeah,
she's sure, as her titties are bobbing, she makes sure to, reassure Holly, is it? No, Holly's the author. I don't
I
even
don't even know her name.
know.
Does
What?
this character have a name?
I don't know that she
Oh,
does.
okay, well, hey, that's fine.
Yeah, she's reassured now by the flight attendant that that's just part of the fun, that the oxygen masks popping is a very good sign for her. She's like somehow pleased the sentient air.
She's doing it. One of them takes the food tray or the pull-out tray and smacks her across the ass multiple times. They are like they are doing everything.
They really are. And you wouldn't think it, but at that moment, a third chair enters the scene.
Oh, that's right.
So
That's
they
right.
are,
Because the
I
boys,
thought they were doing everything. You're right, but they weren't. They weren't.
mm-mm. They didn't. Yeah, they were trying, but she was missing out on one little part, and so
That's
she needed
true.
that third tray to chair to
Okay, but like logistically, I've just got to say another part that like I had to just like pause and try to understand how these three and like airline chairs are bulky, right? Like they're super bulky. They've got a lot of parts that like attach it to the aircraft frame so that if anyway, we won't go down a neurospicy hole, but they're bulky, right? So I was trying to understand, especially once this third chair. What's this chair's name? Snug.
remember. Oh
Snug.
yeah. Yeah, good,
Once
good.
Snug comes on the scene and it's now a airline chair like mini orgy or whatever. Um, I was like struggling to understand how all three chairs are able to do what they're doing to
Melanie, I can't tell you because I didn't get it either, but it was still working. I
Mm,
couldn't, it was weird. I could not picture it, but it was still working
I
in my
agree.
head.
No, I
Like
agree.
you
Maybe
made
it's
it work.
like if you like make a bunch of roses, and sometimes all the stems go out one way, but you have a very neat bouquet up top.
That's,
Just choking on my saliva.
yeah, hey, whatever works. But so they all of the chairs reach their
Mm.
climax and
Yeah, they do.
they just shower her with their
Yeah, they never
whatever.
told us what it was. It was like very fresh linen or something and
Yeah,
honeysuckle,
fresh.
but they like didn't really. I was like kind of waiting for the trope of like maybe she realized that like what's she gonna do? Airline fluid. But then I was thinking like people really associate like certain snacks with aircraft. So, it could have been like
Oh.
a casual cheese and crackers and a Chardonnay, or the ro you know what I mean? Like the kind of or like
Yes.
it's like Pringles and there's like very specific aircraft snacks. Maybe she could have gone there.
Yeah. Yeah. No, yeah,
But did I miss
yeah.
that or did you do you
No, no, no. She talks about it smelling like fresh linen and
remember?
jasmine. Yeah,
Ah,
honeysuckle,
yeah, yeah.
honeysuckle. And she, so when that happens, the audience, the crowd, I guess the other participants, they applaud.
Oh yeah.
And she is basking in the afterglow.
She loved
Um,
it. She loved that the
she,
crowd
oh my
applauded
God,
her.
she
I
did.
feel by
She
that point
loved
she
it.
was enjoying being the main character of this story.
Yeah, she loved it.
What
And
I don't understand is how this author somehow managed to make this both so like civilized but perverse. I don't know how else to say it. Like there was something very mindful, very demure, and then there was just like this complete like chaos. And I was like, how did she manage to do both? You know?
yes, she did it well because I read this so freaking fast. It's not even funny. Yeah, and then pretty much after the stewardess comes very nicely,
Hmm.
brings her towels. She had to bring
Yeah.
her four towels because there was so much um
Yeah.
particles on her.
There was. There was. It was a snowstorm. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
It was. It really and truly was. And I was here for it. They landed safely back home, you know?
Mm. I forgot I had this part underlined that like right before they applaud them, that the few of the seats not in use pop out their mini planes watching the grand finale.
Oh,
And they're,
I didn't
oh
read
yeah.
that. Oh,
It
wow.
says many of the passengers have finished their rendezvous in the skies and now gathering to watch me lose my exclusive passenger V card in the most incredible way. A few of the seats not in use pop out their mini planes and stroke, clearly turned on by the sight of three chairs and one woman. This woman deserves a medal. This is fucking hilarious. Somehow it does
Yes.
manages to be very spicy. Like I still felt that it was very spicy.
Oh my
It
God.
wasn't
It was
just a
all,
laugh. Yeah.
no, it was all spice. I would happily read all of the books by this author. The Deviled Egg made me do it. Is one of the ones I'm looking
Oh my
into.
gosh. Do you know what? It got me thinking reading this, like maybe we could do a side mini podcast book club or something where we just like these episodes, but maybe we could put it like as a but I mean it's fine. We've already got our listeners and they know they're getting this, but I'm like it could be like a book club part of the podcast. I don't know.
That'd
Just
be fun.
yeah. So she's got more. We'll have to look them up. But yeah,
Yes, I love the size.
I love the
It was
sides.
great.
It's just a fun, silly romp. So there you go, listeners. AIRPEEN by Holly Wilde. It is wild. Thank you for joining us. Please share your thoughts. And please tell us which slutty book you think we should read next.
Yes.